everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be starting yet another reading vlog. So this is going to be kind of a weekend reading vlog situation, and initially I wasn't really planning on filming a vlog this weekend. However, I'm reading some good books right now. I got a new journal that I kind of want to talk about, and I thought it would just be fun to share. So here we are, starting another video. But let me talk about my reading plans first. I only have two because I want this weekend to be very chill. I also have a friend coming into town tomorrow, so I'm not gonna have like the maximum amount of time to read, but these are just two books that I thought would be kind of fun to talk about with you guys throughout the weekend. Also, I wanted to show you this really cute book sleeve that I made. Well, like for the most part I made it. My mom did help me with some of like the cosmetic stitching on the outside because I cannot stitch straight lines to save my life, but I thought it was really cute because it has like this little bat pattern. It's like got a black velvet interior. I'm obsessed. So the first book is a book that I'm currently in the middle of, and this is a reread for me, but I'm just having the best time already rereading this book, so I kind of just want to like talk about it over the course of the weekend. And that is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This is the Wyverns and Words book club pick for the month, which is July. And our live show is in 4 days, and I'm only like a fourth of the way through it, but technically, if I read another fourth every single day until then, everything should be fine. But I'm currently on page 171, so I just made it up to part 2. I've also started annotating it because I thought that'd be kind of fun. And so far, I've just been having the best time rereading this book. Like, I am loving it so much. And I know this is one of my favorite books of last year, so I'm like, obviously I'm loving it. But I feel like sometimes with rereads, the second time around, I'm like, you know, I still really like it, but it's not as good as the first time. But this reread has been exceeding my expectations. I'm pretty sure the first time I read this, it took me like a little bit to kind of get into it, fully kind of find my footing in the world and understand what's going on. But now that I'm rereading it, I just know who the characters are, I understand the magic system super well already, and I feel like I can just truly enjoy what is happening, and I'm just having such a good time, and I'm so excited about that. I also think it's been really interesting to reread this because obviously I kind of understand more things now that I've read this entire trilogy, but now that I've read Era 2, where they kind of view the events that happen in Era 1 as just stuff of myth and legends, it's really interesting to kind of go back to this and like get back into this being the current timeline that you're reading from, if that makes sense. I'm just having a great time. I love these characters. I love the plot so much. This is kind of a heist type story in the first book, I'd say. And you're following our two main characters, Vin and Kelsier, as they are trying to overthrow the current kind of class system of sorts that is in place in this world. And they're trying to take down this guy who's called the Lord Ruler. There's this whole magic system called allomancy where they can ingest metals, and then based on the metals they ingest, they can do like certain things with it. And if you guys have not read Mistborn, please read Mistborn. It is so good. This one specifically is like my favorite out of the entirety of the series, both Era 1 and 2. Like the Final Empire is just so good. The rest of them are great too, but like this is just my personal favorite, so I'm having a really fun time. And then the other book is a book that I have not started yet, but it is a new release, and it is a new release that has been on my radar, and I've been so hyped for it for quite a while. And that is The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love by India Holton. I have been so excited for this book, and I'm so glad that I finally have a copy. Also, it's beautiful. Look at the like nice gold. It's not exactly foiling, but it looks like shiny. But I have read India Holton's other series, and it is absolutely so ridiculous, but it is so much fun. So when I heard that she had a historical fantasy rom-com rival natural historians kind of book coming out, obviously I had to pick it up because this is kind of a 5-star prediction. I don't know if I want to put that out there because I feel like I might be disappointed if I keep my expectations too high, but it sounds so good because it's following two rival ornithologists that are like going through England to hunt for this rare magical bird. And that just sounds so fun. Like, it sounds like it's just gonna be a really fun time. I think I saw somewhere that it's like, for fans of Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. And I'm like, me. That's me. So I feel like this one's gonna be really good. And even if it's not a 5-star, I feel like it's gonna be just a very fun time. So these are my two reading plans for the week. I'm so excited about both of them. And that's kind of why I wanted to film this vlog, just because I love talking about books that I love. So here we go. But then something else that I've been really excited about and I just wanted to share is the fact that I started a new journal. Not like a reading journal. I still have like my normal one that I've been using. But I've been wanting more of a normal journal, write about my day type of situation. But every time I have just like a normal notebook and I try and turn it into like a diary journal type of thing. I write in it for like 3 days and then I stop. So I've been on the lookout for something that I think I'll be able to like actually keep up with, and I've had this journal in mind for quite a while. I've just been kind of like debating whether or not I should buy it, but I broke down and I finally bought it, and I've been having a really good time with it because I finally picked up a Hobonichi Weeks journal planner type of situation. Basically it's set up so you have like the days of the week on this side and then just like a blank space over here. And the way that I've seen people use them is like they'll use this side for journaling and then they'll do like a little collage situation on the other side to kind of like represent their week. So I thought that sounded like the perfect kind of thing for me to do. So I started doing that and I've been really enjoying it. Like here's my one for Summerween, which is really fun. Then I have my one for last week, which I really like too. I think this is just gonna be something that's really easy for me to maintain because the spaces for each day where I'm gonna journal are very small. So like I can't write a ton, but I feel like that's gonna work well for me because I just want like a little something to remind me what I did that day. And then I can do my little collage on the other side, which I've been liking a lot as well. So I've been doing just a couple of things in this journal and I thought I could share it with you guys. I also made my little title page, which I think is so cute. Mackenzie gifted me these like over the garden wall stickers and I think they're adorable. Look at Wirt, I love him. I am just having the best time so far using this, so I definitely want to like continue to do things in it this week. Like obviously do my little collage thingy for this week. I think that'll be something I might start including in my vlogs, or maybe I won't, who knows, honestly. Also, I think this cover is so freaking cute. Like, look at this little guy, he's adorable. So this weekend should be pretty chill, which I'm quite excited about, although tomorrow my friend is coming into town and we are going downtown to go see Moulin Rouge, which I'm quite excited about. I know nothing about it, but I love a good musical every now and then, so I think that'll be really fun. So those are kind of my general plans for the weekend, is to finish my 2 books, do a little bit of journaling, do various other things. So I hope you guys are excited for this reading vlog. I certainly am, so let us just get into the video. No more of that. Literally the minute I decided I wanted to film an update, Winnie thought it would be a great time to sit on a plastic bag and like roll around on it. So that is not allowed. And now she wants to leave because I've taken her plastic bag away from her. Anyway, so it's a bit later. I spent the morning packing some Pango orders because I've been listing quite a few books on there recently. I feel like I've had a, I wouldn't call it a revelation because I don't think it's much of a revelation, but I feel like recently I've found myself kind of shifting away from wanting to own like multiple copies of the same book. Like obviously there are multiple copies of some books that I would like to collect, but like some of these books I have like 4 copies of and I'm like, what am I gonna do with them? You know, like I'm not gonna read all 4 of these. For the most part, if I have like multiple copies, there's only 1 copy that I'll ever read out of. So that's not to say I'm gonna like completely stop buying multiple copies of books because I'm sure something will slip through the cracks. But I went through my shelves a couple days ago and I had like a real serious think about whether or not I wanted multiple copies of these books. So I decided to list some of those on Pango. I also just like listed some books that I don't ever foresee rereading. So I packaged those up and they're ready to go out, and I'll probably go out here in a minute to the post office so I can ship those on their way. But then I have also read like a little bit more of The Final Empire. I think I've read like 30 pages or so. Another reason why I find this reread to be so interesting is the fact that this was like the 3rd book that I think I read out of all of the books in the Cosmere. I'm pretty sure the only 2 books that I read from Brandon Sanderson before this were The Way of Kings and Words of Radiance. But now that I've read so many more books, now that I understand so many more things about the Cosmere, there are definitely like some connections to be made. Like there are not like a lot of connections because I mean I'm only like 200 pages in so far. So there are just a lot of things that I find to be very interesting. There are a lot of like specific world type details that I did not know when I first read this book, but now that I've read like Era 2, I also read like the little Scadrial information page thingy that's in Arcanum Unbounded, and I just feel like kind of being able to apply all of that almost and like really understand the inner workings of this world has been a very enjoyable experience. And I also just absolutely love this group of characters. I know I said earlier that I really love Vin and Kelsier, and obviously I do, but there's like a whole crew that is involved in this heist situation, and I think they all have such a good rapport, and it is just very enjoyable. So I'm continuing to love it. Having the best time. I think my goal with this today is to make it up to part 3. What page is that? Part 3 is on page 265, so that's like 70 pages-ish from where I am now, so that sounds doable. And then I do really, really want to jump into the Ornithologist Field Guide to Love because I just think that one's also gonna be so good. So those are kind of, you know, updates and whatnot. But as for right now, I want to go ship my books, and then I'm also thinking I want to do a little bit of baking today. I'm not 100% sure what I want to make yet, but I'm leaning towards some muffins. Maybe some chocolate muffins, like double chocolate muffins, because I do always love those, but I never like have them. So maybe I'll try and make some. That sounds like it could be a decent idea, but I do need to go to the store to get a few things before I do that. We will see what I get up to later.
Guess what?
Okay, good morning, friends. It is Saturday morning now. I don't really think I have like too much of an update for you guys. But yesterday I did make some more progress in the Final Empire and I did make it to part 3. I read a little bit more than part 3, I think, but only like a chapter more. I'm on page 277, so I think I'm still, you know, a little bit under the halfway mark, but I definitely plan to read a lot of this morning. It's currently 11 o'clock and my friend isn't getting here until about 2, so I'm planning to spend the time until she gets here reading some more of this because A, I want to, but B, I kind of need to because I need to continue making steady progress in this book, but I'm certainly not mad about reading some more of this. But I'm continuing to find this reread very valuable, honestly. I find it interesting because normally when I talk about Mistborn and I like recommend it to people, I'm like, oh my god, it's so fun. But I feel like there are definitely a lot of points in this book that like aren't fun and are definitely very depressing and gruesome when you really think about it. So it's kind of making me rethink how I would pitch this book to people. Because even though I do still think this book is really fun and I would still somewhat categorize it as that, there are definitely those dark moments, which I feel like is kind of a big strength of Brandon Sanderson's writing style, is the fact that he is able to have that kind of balance in his books. Because even though I wouldn't really call any of his books dark, I definitely think they have some darker tones to them at times, but I think he just does such a good job at kind of balancing that out with like the lighter, fun moments in his stories as well, and that's definitely a reason why I love his books so much. We're also getting to one of my favorite parts in the plot of this book because there is this whole kind of thing where our main character Vin has to kind of infiltrate the court in a way, and she does that by pretending to be a noblewoman and attending these balls, and I honestly just love that part of the book. I just think it's so fun. Seeing her interact with in polite society is just very entertaining, honestly, and the people that she meets while she's doing that, some of them suck, but some of them certainly do not suck, and I just really like kind of seeing how her dynamic with these people develops over the course of this book and the series as a whole. So we're just getting into a really good part of this book, so I cannot wait to read some more of it. I still have not read any of the Ornithologist Field Guide to Love. I think I'm gonna save this for a little bit later. I definitely want to focus on finishing this up first. So that's kind of my immediate plan for the morning, but when my friend gets here, I believe we're going to maybe go to Half Price. She told me she recently started reading and she wants to go to Half Price Books, and I'm like, absolutely, I do not need an excuse to go to Half Price Books, but like we can go, don't worry. So I'm quite excited about that, and then our show tonight is at 7:30, which should be great. So I don't think I'll be able to get to a ton of reading today, but I do have some exciting plans later. So I think that's honestly all I had to update you on for the time being. So I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my day. Alright, so it's been a couple of days. It's currently Monday morning. If you can see the absolute mess that my desk currently is, respectfully, no you can't. But I do have quite a few updates for you guys this morning. So, my friend did come into town and we did go see Moulin Rouge. I did not end up like filming anything just because I haven't seen her in so long and I just wanted to like hang out, you know? But as for Moulin Rouge, it was something. I think I liked it. There are definitely aspects to it that I like because it is a jukebox musical. So there were like a lot of songs that obviously a lot of people know and I thought that was kind of fun. But I feel like plot-wise, it was lacking. Like it was really lacking. And I know that like the plot doesn't have to be like crazy complex or whatever, but I feel like it just wasn't super great, honestly. But the production itself and the like actors and singers or whatever, they were amazing. So I definitely do not regret going. I really enjoyed it. Also, me and my friends did go book shopping and I did pick up a book and some bookmarks, even though I was not planning on buying a book. But this is a book that I've been meaning to pick up, and initially I thought I was gonna have to buy it on Blackwell's because this is the UK edition, but they had it in half price. And I was like, you are coming home with me. And that is The Vampire Lestat by Anne Rice. This is the second book in the Vampire Chronicles series. The first book being Interview with the Vampire, which I read last year for Halloween. Really liked it, and I have been planning on reading this one this year for Halloween. I'm quite interested to see what I think of this book because Lestat is a very interesting character, and I kind of hate him in the first book, but that's kind of the point. Like, obviously you're not supposed to like him. But a couple of you guys told me in the comments of the video when I read that book that this would make me like Lestat more. So I'm just interested to see if that's going to happen, but nonetheless, I'm excited that they had this, and it was, indeed, half the price that I would have had to pay if I had bought it on Blackwell's. So there was no way I was gonna leave this book in half price, but I'm so excited that I have it. And then for the bookmarks, me and my friend got some matching bookmarks, and I think they're really cute. So we have this little dragon one, tassel added by me, obviously, and then this little cat one, which is very cute. So yeah, that's my little half-price haul. Very solid finds, if I might say so myself. But as for a reading update, I did finish The Final Empire, and it was so freaking good the second time around. I honestly think I like this book even more the second time around, and this is definitely one of my favorite books of all time. I'm honestly really sad that I did not include it in my like favorite books ever video that I did a couple of months ago, because why did I not? This book is so good. I feel like I let my less than 5-star feelings about the second and third books in this series kind of cloud my judgment sometimes when I'm talking about like this book specifically. Don't get me wrong, those books are good, but like just something about this book is just so much better than those for me personally. So I'm really glad that I was able to give this a reread, and I feel like it has reignited my love for The Final Empire specifically because it's so good. I also did annotate it, and it's so satisfying and it's so beautiful, and I had such a good time annotating it. I feel like I was able to pick up on like some smaller things that were going on in this book that I definitely missed the first time, such as things about the magic systems, things about the Cosmere as a whole, and also the crazy amount of foreshadowing that is going on in this book for like something that happens at the end of it. I'm like, it's right there, like literally all of the pieces are there, and it's like so easy to put together on a second reread, obviously. But on a first read, obviously I was clueless. I had no idea what was coming for me, but kind of seeing how it was being set up, it just makes everything make so much more sense. So I really liked that. I also just love Vin as a main character. I feel like she's definitely a badass, and I definitely think she kind of comes into Allomancy really easily. Like she picks up on a lot of things really easily. Like there might be a reason for that, I honestly don't remember. But I like that she has those moments where she's this like strong Allomancer that's just like kicking ass constantly. But I also like that she does have moments in this book where she does act like a typical 16-year-old girl. I find those moments to be very humanizing for her, honestly. And even though sometimes I'm like, girl, you're acting so dumb right now, I get it. Like I totally get why she's acting this way, and I just really enjoy her characterization throughout this book as well. And there are just so many more things that I could possibly say about this book, but I think I'm gonna save those for the live show, which should be up by the time you're watching this video. So this is me again imploring you to read Mistborn if you have not. I literally read like 330 pages of this book yesterday. So that's a lot of book to read in a single day. So if that doesn't show you how good this book is, I don't know what will, because I'm pretty sure I did the exact same thing the first time I read this book. I think I marathoned like the second half of it in a day. So it's a recurring theme, I guess, but it's just that good. However, that is the only reading update that I have for you guys. However, today I would like to read, or like get into, The Ornithologist's, what's this book called? The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love, because I am quite excited about this. It'll definitely be quite the change from the Final Empire, but I'm ready for that right now. So I can't wait to get into this one. And those are kind of the only reading updates that I have for you guys at the moment. My only plan for the rest of today is to read this book, so I'm gonna do that. Also this morning I did do a little bit of journaling. I finally made my little collage for this week and I'm so excited about it. I think it looks really cute. I recently got this little wax seal thingy and I've been really excited to give it a try. I know it's gonna make this like a little bit thick, but like all of my journals are a little bit thick, so I don't really care that much. And it didn't turn out perfectly, but I do really like what it adds to the overall collage because it's like another element of silver going on. And the goal for this was like blue and silver, basically. I've honestly just been having such a good time working in my Hobonichi and I'm so excited that I bought one because I've been wanting to buy one for quite a while and I finally bit the bullet and did it, and I honestly kind of love it. So that's what I kind of spent my morning doing. I'm gonna stop yapping because I don't really think I have much else to update you on for now, so I'm gonna go read some of this and I will talk to you guys probably tomorrow. So it is 2 days later now. I was initially planning on like filming stuff yesterday, but then yesterday morning I dumped water all over my desk on accident. And the day just, you know, got off on the wrong foot. So I was like, no filming today. For my sanity, no filming today. But me and Cass did have the live show for the Final Empire yesterday and it was so much fun. That is definitely my new favorite book club discussion that we've ever had, just because so many people really liked the book. Obviously me and Cass absolutely loved it. I think we both liked it even more on a reread, so it was just such a fun time. Like everybody was having a great time talking about it, I feel. So if you were there for the discussion, thank you for joining us. But if you want to watch it, it is up on Cass's channel and I will link that because I love it. I had such a good time. But I do have a couple of things to update you on aside from that. The first one being a couple days ago, I did go to Home Goods. And I know it's only July and I'm buying Halloween decorations, but let me tell you, the people that like to buy Halloween decorations, cutthroat. Like you're either in or you're out. If you don't get it by like mid-August, good luck. So I like to do my shopping early, you know, and then I kind of rein it in to an extent a little bit later in the season. But I went to Home Goods because I really wanted a Halloween candle. The only thing is I'm very picky with my scents. Like for the most part, I don't really like scented candles. Unless they're really weak scents, I'm probably not gonna like it, and I just hated all of the scents that they had for their candles, even though they had so many cute ones. But I digress, because I found something that's even better, honestly. Because I saw this little guy, and I think he's so cute. I think he's supposed to look like a candle. He feels kind of waxy, which is a weird texture, but he's not a candle. He just lights up. And I do like him, but the only issue is that I don't like the LED. Like, I feel like the cool-toned light is really not the vibe. I'm gonna keep him, obviously, because I think he's adorable even without the light, but I'm wondering if I can, like, pop the light out of him somehow and, like, use a tea light for him. Maybe. I don't know if that's the thing that I could possibly do, and I might ruin him in the process of trying to do that, but that'll be a project for another day. Regardless, I'm so happy with him, and he's just such a nice decoration, lit or not, so yeah. There's my Halloween purchase. He can sit right there. You can't even see him. No. He'll sit there. Can you see him there? There we go. So that was fun. Anyway, let me talk about some reading updates because I feel like that's what we're all here for. The first one being an update that I'm so excited about because I have started the Ornithologist Field Guide to Love and I have made quite a bit of progress. I'm like halfway through it. I'm on page 184 now. And it's so good. Like, it is so good. It is honestly everything that I was wanting it to be, and I don't know if it's gonna be a 5-star or not, but like, if I were to rate it right now, it would be a 5-star. I just feel like India Holton knows how to write ridiculous but funny, witty, flirty banter so well. And even though I feel like her main character kind of feels like all of the other main characters from her like other series that I've read, I don't even care. I'm obsessed. I love it so far. Basically, we're following our main character, Beth, who is an ornithology professor, and there is this like competition that is going on in England where all of these ornithologists are looking for this very rare bird. And if they find this bird, they get to become Birder of the Year, which is like this big honor that is granted by the International Ornithology Society. And if they're a professor, they get tenure. And Beth, being a professor, is obviously like, I want tenure, you know? So she's obviously on the lookout for this bird. However, enter our love interest, whose name is Devin. He is also like a professor. Obviously, he also wants tenure. So they kind of had this like rivalry, like, oh, I want to be Birder of the Year, but you also want to be Birder of the Year, like academic rival thing. However, due to some certain turns of events, they end up having to kind of travel together in a way, and they end up having to stay the night in an inn together. And my favorite thing that's happened so far is the fact that we all know about the 1-bed trope. Love the 1-bed trope. But this book has the 7-bed trope, which is a new one. There were just so many beds they don't even know what to do with themselves. And I feel like that situation is very indicative of what this book is like as a whole because it's so ridiculous. But I absolutely love the romance so far in this book. I feel like, you know, you have the whole competition thing that's going on, but that's kind of just a setting and a catalyst for things that are happening with our two main characters, and I think it's just so good so far. I just always have the best time reading India Holton's books. I feel like she just gets me. She just always writes books that I absolutely love reading. They're just the best time, but this is like the first one of her books that I'm like, I want to give this book a 5-star. Like, I'm only halfway through it and things could change, but like so far, I want to give it a 5 stars. So that's very exciting because, as I said in the beginning of this video, this is kind of like a 5-star prediction for me. As soon as I heard it was coming out, I was like, that's a me book. That is like a book that I will love. So seeing that actually come to fruition, quite satisfying. I have also learned that there's going to be a second book in this series, which I'm unbelievably excited about. It comes out in April, so I'm like, that's so soon. I mean, like, not that soon, but like less than a year after this one comes out, so like pretty soon. And it was described as Twister meets Anne of Green Gables. And I'm like, I have no idea what that means, but it sounds like it's gonna be amazing based on that alone. I think we might have already met one of the main characters in this book because that book is about like geologists, I think. They're like magical storm chasers or something to that effect, which is why the Twister comp is apt. But Devin's cousin is a geologist, so I'm like, okay, so it's probably this dude. So that's quite exciting and I cannot wait for that one. But obviously I also cannot wait to read the rest of this book. I'm just having the best time. I feel like I've been reading so many good books in this video. Mainly just Mistborn in this one, but like, they're great. They're just so good. So definitely a very solid reading week so far. I'm having the best time. Although also something about this book that I do really like, even though it does have those like fun, ridiculous, incredulous kind of moments to it. Our main character Beth is a young woman in a scientific field in like the late 1800s, so you do get that discussion around women being mistreated. They're kind of thought of as secretaries, even though Beth is like the youngest professor of ornithology ever in England. So I like that it has some of those tones to it while still maintaining like an overall fun rom-com kind of thing. I think it's a good mix. And then also yesterday I did decide to start another book because I made it to the halfway point of this one, but I still kind of had some things that I wanted to do. Like I added a whole other row to my blanket. I'm not gonna pull it out because it's a nice little decoration back there, but I added more to my granny square blanket. If you're keeping up with that, it's going well. I think I've got 35 squares in it so far. Not even near being enough, but it's progress, and progress is progress. But I really wanted to keep reading, but I wanted to like work on that and like do some other stuff, so I decided to pick up an audiobook. And this is a book that I saw at half price the other day when me and my friends went, and I thought about picking it up, but it's like an adult fantasy, so it's like $30, and I don't really like the sprayed edge on it, so I decided to just pick it up via audio, and I was like, this could be a nice audiobook. And so far it definitely has been, and that is The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. I've seen this one around around recently because I think it's a rather new release and it sounds really fun. It's like a cozy fantasy type of situation where our main character opens a spell shop, which sounds quaint as hell, honestly, and like something I definitely wanted to check out. So I picked up the audiobook for it and I'm having a really good time so far. We're following our main character. I don't remember what her name is. It's something like fantasy sounding, so it's not like, I just can't remember it, but she's blue, so that's fun. And in the beginning of this book, she kind of lives in the city, she works at the library, but in the very first chapter of this book, everything's burning down. The library is burning down, the city is burning down. She's like, oh shoot, I gotta go. So she grabs like a bunch of these magical books and she hightails it out of there, and she ends up on this little island where she used to live when she was younger with her parents. And she remembers that she has this little cottage there that her parents never sold, so it should technically still belong to her. So she kind of finds that, moves in with her sentient spider plant, which let me tell you, over the last like month, I have now read 2 books where our main character's best friend is a plant. Like this one, it's a fantasy book, so I'm like, whatever, but the other one was not a fantasy book. Which, I don't want to get into it because I didn't like that book, but I just think it's an odd coincidence, shall we say. But I digress. Our main character is very kind of antisocial. She doesn't really like hanging out with people. She's very introverted. And as a very introverted person myself, I'm like, I feel you on so many levels right now. So she's kind of trying to navigate this small town-ish kind of thing, or small island, I guess. I don't really know if I'd consider it a town, but it's kind of like that everybody knows everybody knows everything about everybody kind of thing, and she's kind of trying to navigate that and like set boundaries for herself with the people that she's met so far, which I do really like because she is not scared to tell people to like get out of her space and leave her alone. But I can definitely tell she's like forming friendships with a couple of the people that are in this area, and I think it's been fun so far. Typically cozy fantasy isn't exactly my thing, but this one I'm having a good time with, so there's kind of my update on the audiobook. I don't know if I'm gonna finish that in this video or not. I probably won't, just because I probably want to end this vlog soon, but I wanted to tell you guys that I started it and I'm liking it. And if I continue to like it, I'll probably want a physical copy of it because the cover is so beautiful. Like the illustration on it is just absolutely gorgeous, honestly. Like every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I want you so badly. But I'm not a super huge fan of like solid color sprayed edges on books. I do like a good like stencil design, you know, but like the solid color, I'm like, so I'd rather wait for a second printing of it if I'm gonna pick it up, but I feel like I'll probably want to. I mean, so far I'm really liking it and I feel like that'll probably continue. Plans for the rest of the day are going to include me finishing up the Ornithologist Field Guide to Love because I cannot wait to see where things are going to go with our characters. This one, it's just so good. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about it and I'm going to get into reading. Hello, everybody. Excuse me. You want to say hi? She always does. And then I know she'll want to leave in like 3 seconds and I'll have to get up and let her out. That's so nice of you. Anyway, hello. It is Friday. Damn, when did it get to be Friday? I know I said at the beginning of this video that I was gonna film like a weekend reading vlog. Like, no, it's just been a full week at this point. I feel like every time I say I'm gonna film a weekend reading vlog, I end up going like way past just the weekend. But then when I say I'm gonna film a normal reading vlog, it only spans like 3 days. So maybe I just need to stop establishing how long I'm gonna film a video for in the intro and just see what happens. Anyway, yesterday was the 1st of August. It is finally fall. No, I will not take any critiques or dissenting opinions on that statement. It's a fact. It is a fact in my mind. But August does kind of mark the beginning of like the spooky season, my fall-ish content. From here on out, my videos should be like a little more spooky. I'm not gonna do fall stuff just yet, but like towards the end of August and like obviously September. That's when we get into the fall content and I'm so excited. But I do have to get through the first part of August before I can do that, which is gross because it's so hot here. We've been having a heat wave. I hate it, but I just won't leave my house and everything will be fine. It's not like I leave my house anyway, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I do have some reading updates and whatnot for you before we go. I also did work a little bit more on my blanket. It's back there, actually. I don't know why I was looking for it. I put it deliberately back there so it could be in the background of this video and I'm like, oh my god, where did I put my blanket? Embarrassing, truly, but oh, hello again. I did make some more squares yesterday. I will be adding another row onto my blanket later today. Should be very fun. It's really coming along and I am very excited about that because I had no hope that I would actually like stick with this project. And there's always the chance that I might not do it, but I feel like if I just keep slowly picking at it, it'll be good. But I spent the large majority of yesterday working on that blanket, and then I also, little TV show review time for you. I watched the adaptation for Good Girl's Guide to Murder because it got put on Netflix in the US yesterday. I think it's been out in the UK for a little bit, but I didn't even realize it was coming out yesterday. I just got on Netflix yesterday morning and I was like, oh, she's here. So I decided to watch all 6 episodes of it and I kind of liked it. I feel like for what it was fun, but I feel like there was no reason as to why it was 6 episodes long. I feel like the first couple episodes were so slow and I was like, what are we doing here, you know? Because I always praise the books for being like really fast-paced and fun, but the show I feel like was just dragging so many things out and I was like, this is why you didn't need 6 episodes. I feel like if it was like shoved into 4 episodes, it would have been great. The pacing would have been snappy. I would have been really into it, but I feel like it was just so slow. But I feel like the last couple episodes kind of fixed the pacing issue and it was a little bit more fun. It's not like a favorite show. It's not anything that I'm probably ever going to rewatch, but it was fine. I liked it. It was definitely the perfect way to spend my first day of August because last year on the first day of August, I started filming my like spoiler-filled reading vlog thingy that I have for the series. So it was very serendipitous that the show got released on the 1st of August this year. So kind of fun, kind of a little August tradition of sorts. But overall, I definitely say I liked it. I've seen some opinions of people not liking it, but I didn't think it was that egregious, honestly. It's not like my favorite thing, but I enjoyed my time. It was fun. Anyway, you guys didn't ask for a TV show review, but there you go. That is what I spent my day yesterday doing. However, since the last time I've talked to you, I have finished a book, I have continued a book, so obviously I want to give you those final updates before I end the video. So first of all, I did finish up The Ornithologist Field Guide to Love, and I absolutely adored this book. I'm definitely giving this 5 stars. I just had such a fun time reading it, and I'm so glad that my 5-star prediction came true. The romance is definitely my favorite part of this book. I just thought Beth and Devon's dynamic over the course of this book was so fun, and it was so fun to watch like everything unfold because Beth is like a very prim and like kind of proper lady of the 19th century and Devon is annoying and kind of like rakish, I suppose is how you would describe him, but in a very endearing way, and watching them kind of grow closer, learn to trust each other because they both definitely have some trust issues, but kind of seeing them find a kindred spirit in each other was really nice because they're both very heavily into ornithology. And both of them are like, I've never found somebody that cares as much about birds as I do. So they were just kind of like bonding over that and it was really cute. So the romance was really fun and absolutely why I'm giving it 5 stars, but I also thought the plot in this one was really interesting to watch unfold. As as they continue to search for this bird, they kind of find themselves becoming the victim of like a marketing scheme that has been put on by the International Ornithology Society. But I feel like the turn the plot takes just makes a lot of sense for an India Holton book. And I just loved it so much. Would recommend if you are looking for like a fun fantasy romance rom-com situation that has to deal with like natural historians in a way. Obviously this was right up my alley and I did love it, so there's this one. And then I have listened to some more of my audiobook for The Spell Shop. I'm a little bit like under halfway through this book and I'm continuing to really enjoy this one as well. I'm starting to think maybe I judged cozy fantasy a little bit too early. I feel like I read 2 books that I didn't love as much as I thought I was going to, and I was like, oh my god, I don't even like cozy fantasy. But I still feel like it's not my favorite thing. But I feel like maybe I just haven't been reading the right cozy fantasy for me, because I do feel like some of the books that I do really like would kind of be considered cozy fantasy. So maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. Wouldn't be the first time. But this one is definitely still really fun. We're just continuing to kind of follow our main character as she is settling into life on this island and kind of dealing with these new relationships that she's forming, because she's a very introverted person. She's not like super used to hanging out with people. I mean, her best friend is a plant, so I feel like you can kind of figure that out, but kind of seeing her navigate these new relationships and these new people that want to kind of be in her life, I think is very interesting. Also seeing her kind of figure out how she's going to set up this spell shop I've really liked, because she's not, strictly speaking, supposed to be able to like use this magic. I don't know if I clarified this, but when she was like grabbing the books from the library when it was burning down at the very beginning of this book, like those are books that she is not supposed to be in possession of, and she has like taken them with her to this island where she is still not supposed to be in possession of them, and she's gonna like open this spell shop. So she needs like a front for the shop so she can like do normal shop things, but then like do magic things so she can like help out the people of this island and also earn a living so she can like live. So following her as she's trying to keep these books secret but still like do something with them to some effect, I think it's been fun. I also think there's a bit of a romance brewing that I could absolutely get into, because there's this guy that lives very close to her and he's been very helpful to her because they knew each other a little bit when they were younger, and kind of seeing them grow closer even though she's like very hesitant to like get close to anybody really. I've really like that, and I think it's gonna be fun to kind of see how their dynamic develops over the course of this book, because right now she's very closed off. She's like, don't want to hang out with you, like get out of my space. But you can kind of see her warming up to him a bit, and I think that's been nice too. So that is kind of where I'm at with the spell shop. I think I'm going to probably finish it up in my next video, so if you want to hear like full thoughts on it, I'll talk about it then. But for now, I'll leave you with that. But I'm really liking it. But to give you guys kind of a wrap up on everything, I just talked about 2 out of the 3 books that I read this week, so obviously the other one was The Final Empire. I'm sorry I spent so much of this vlog just like gushing about this book, but it was so good, and I was so glad that I was finally able to give it a reread. I just love it so much. And I'm really excited to jump into The Well of Ascension, which is our August book club pick, so there will be a live show for it on my channel at the end of the month if you want to join. But I don't think I gave The Well of Ascension what she deserved when I first read it, because I'm pretty sure I read it in like a 24-hour timer vlog thing that I did last year, and I'm pretty sure I read like 700 pages of it in a day, which I wouldn't say was my best plan, especially for a book like The Well of Ascension, which is kind of like a bit slower moving. It's very political, so like trying to read so much of it in a day I think was only to my detriment really. So I'm wondering if I take it a little bit slower and like properly appreciate it, maybe I will like give it a 5-star, because I think I gave it a 4-star on my first read. But I feel like there's a lot of potential for me to like it more than I did the first time. I also feel like there are some more like Cosmere things as a whole that come into the later parts of Era 1 that I could like appreciate now that I've read more of the books in the Cosmere. So I'm quite excited to get into that one and see how that goes. But obviously this is just what I read this week. I've literally had like the best reading week this week. I read 2 books that are 5 stars. Granted, one of them is like a reread, but like whatever. And I'm in the middle of an audiobook that I'm also really enjoying. So I feel like this has just been one of the best reading weeks that I've had in a while. Obviously I've read books that I liked recently, but like these 2 I've just had so much fun with that I'm like, reading is beautiful. I love it. Anyway, I've been speaking for too long, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really like how this one is turning out. I think I've done like a little more B-roll, like showing you guys what I'm doing a little bit more, so I hope you like that. I also hope you don't mind the journaling content. I know it's not like a reading journal, but it's like a personal journal, but I just really wanted to share because I've just been loving using my Hobonichi over these last couple of weeks, so if you guys want to see me do more of that in my vlogs, let me know because I definitely would. But I think that is everything that I have for you for this video. Although before we go, I would like to thank everybody over on my Patreon. If you're ever looking for more content from me, that is always linked down below. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you're all having an amazing Monday or whatever day it is that you are watching this video. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.